feels like a promise. So this is my vow. All gods will die.
Oh, with all this talk about chopping off heads, I want to have a go.
No, stop. Enough of that. Can we put the original up here? The better one? Thank you. Gorr the God Butcher. First appearing in Thor God of Thunder issue number 2, he was created by Jason Aaron and Isad Ribic in January of 2013. Thor Love and Thunder was Gorr's first live-action appearance. He hasn't been in anything other than comics, and to see what they did with his character and the entire movie was just a shame. I may not think that Christian Bale is a spectacular actor, but man, he definitely deserved a better script. This entire movie deserved a better script. But despite all the bad stuff in this movie, Gorr is still the best part. He's not great, but he still makes this movie at least a little bit watchable. Alright, enough of Love and Thunder. At this point, Gorr is pretty much confirmed to be the next character added to Marvel Rivals. So today I designed a kit for him. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, my version of Gorr is going to be a duelist. Now as the God Butcher, wielding all black the Necro Sword, I would really want him to be a Vanguard, and I'm hoping NetEase pulls through with that. But I really doubt they are going to. I bet they want to be consistent and they don't want to do back-to-back Vanguards or back-to-back duelists and strategists. So for this, I'm almost certain that they are going to make him a duelist. So let's take a look at what he's got going. Gorr the God Butcher is a 4-star duelist, wielding all black the Necro Sword. His primary fire is all black, where Gorr wields all black the Necro Sword, swinging it at enemies. His sword is going to act a lot like Magic's, although instead of just swinging, he can also poke, and his attacks will be faster. Gorr's first ability is called Ensnared. This is where he will shoot binds at a specific enemy, causing a slight knockback and trapping them where they stand. This is a good way to put an enemy out of commission for a few seconds, or to lock them in place to stop them from running. So you can get a quick and easy kill, or you can just halt their advance. His second ability is All Black's Hunger. This is where All Black forms into sharp tendrils, stabbing into enemies and dealing lifesteal. I figured because it was a symbiotic sword that it can turn into tendrils and it could do some more damage other than just being a sword. And because in the comics, he doesn't just use his sword form, he uses the tendrils to ensnare enemies and deal damage. So I figured why not, and he should be a lifesteal character. We're going to talk about his passive before I get into the third ability, God Butcher. When Gorr attacks his enemies, he builds his bloodlust, becoming stronger and faster the longer he deals damage. I figured this was a standard passive for a DPS to have, especially one that wields a sword. This would be a lot like how Blade gets faster and stronger the longer he attacks. Maybe he wouldn't be as fast as Blade, but he would definitely be stronger. Now we're going to talk about his third ability, which changes everything. Wand of Shadow. This is where he switches to his shadow form, transforming his attack style, gaining increased damage reduction, and gaining flight. You see, Emma Frost can do this, and she's a tank. But if my character is going to be a duelist, you're damn right he's going to transform into 2 forms. I'm kinda hoping he has this as a Vanguard if they truly make him a Vanguard, but we can never be certain, so I'm gonna make him have it in this one. And of course that means most of his kit is going to change. So let's start with his primary fire. Energy Projection. Gorr fires bolts of darkness from his hands, dealing damage and inflicting damage over time. This simply replaces the Necro Sword. The symbiote that is all black forms around his hands so he can fire these bolts. Also keep in mind, this shadow form that he's in, it will last around 8 seconds, about the same as Emma's diamond form, so you're not going to be able to stay in this one forever. His first ability in this form is Living Darkness. All Black siphons the power of shadows, summoning 2 fast and deadly black berserkers, loyal to Gorr, where then Gorr can mark his targets for them to attack. We saw the black berserkers in Thor Love and Thunder, and I thought they were pretty cool, so I thought he should have an ability to summon one. Now, the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, he should do 1, not 2, so ignore the 2. We're gonna say he summons 1. 2 would probably be a bit much. His second and third ability is Abyssal Rush and Twilight's End. Abyssal Rush is where he dashes twice while flying, and Twilight's End is where he goes back to his base form from his shadow form. In his shadow form, since he is flying, I figured he should have a good way of escaping an area or getting to an area faster. So I figured, hey, he's already flying, might as well give him a dash or 2. And then his third one is just like Emma's, he's basically going to switch back. He's going to have a team up with Venom. Symbiotic Infusion is where Venom infuses All Black with part of his symbiote. When active, All Black becomes more aggressive, allowing Gorr to latch onto opponents and keep them close. And then Gorr is granted damage boost with Lifesteal. Now look, you can't have Gorr in the game without giving him a team up with Venom. All Black is a symbiote. It is the first symbiote. It makes sense why there would be a team up. And then for Venom, I figured we could do something with Anti-Venom. I don't know what yet, but we can figure one out. And finally for Gorr, we've got his ultimate, the God Bomb. Gorr forms the God Bomb above him, gaining strong damage reduction. Lasting 10 seconds, Gorr charges the bomb by dealing damage. When fully charged, it wipes out all opponents in its radius not protected. Those outside the radius are damaged and stunned for 2 seconds if they are not protected. Now, in the comics, Gorr creates this God Bomb. It's a giant moon-sized structure and it is fueled with the blood of the gods. So I figured that Gorr should deal damage and get the blood of opponents to fuel this bomb. If he does not get enough, it doesn't charge that much. And as a duelist, your job is to deal damage, so I figured this worked perfectly for him. Now this is where I feel like if he was a Vanguard, this would be a lot like Magneto's ult, which would be a bit confusing, but I don't know, maybe they could implement it the same way that I have here and make it truly wonderful. But this is how I think the God Bomb should work. And that concludes my kit for Gorr the God Butcher in Marvel Rivals. I think I did a pretty good job with him. Even though making him a duelist is something I really wouldn't want to do, I have a feeling that NetEase is going to go through with that. But I can't stand that. Make him a Vanguard. He is the God Butcher. Make him a Vanguard. It makes no sense. Look at him. Look at the aura on him. They had the opportunity of a lifetime to make this aura-filled demon a Vanguard. If they fumble this, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm on my hands and knees begging. NetEase, please follow through with it. Yapping aside, that was my kit. And I'll see you guys later.
Walter, doesn't matter what you say. We're making Gorr a duelist.
Who do you think you're talking to right now? He's a Vanguard, Mike. He's the God Butcher.
Guys, I have the perfect idea. He should be a strategist.
What type of bullshit did you
Shut
just
the
recommend?
fuck up, Jesse. I am not just a Vanguard. I am the Vanguard. A team all goes DPS, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who tanks.